I was at the Comedy Cellar working on material. I just dropped in, and Chris Rock had dropped in also, and he was working on stuff. And we were just talking about, like, we were both, like, kind of trying to write new material. He was trying to put together a new hour, and I was telling him that same thing. I was like, oh, man, like, this is, like, when I finally hit 10 years, and, like, I feel like I'm, you know, definitely, like, made a jump. He's like, oh, wait till you hit, like, 25 years. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's so long from now. I'm going to be garbage till then. I mean, you look at, like, him and, like, Louis, like,
yeah.
They've been doing stand-up as long as I've been a human being. Like, I've been living life as long as they've been on stages trying to do stand-up. So it's, you know, kind of humbling.
But that's also the beauty of it, that you've kind of made that move because, well, Chris, I think, had hit pretty young. But when Louis, you know, now is just becoming that kind of household name, and he's been doing this 20-some plus years. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So... was it intimidating for you when you first started to feel this thing taken off, or were you comfortable with it?
I don't know. I mean, when does it start taking off? I have just always kind of felt, with stand-up especially, it's always the same thing. Like, you're going to these comedy clubs and you're trying to, or comedy rooms, whatever, and you're just trying to write jokes that work really well and try to get them as good as possible. And that process never ends. Like, you know, after you do a tour, you can't, like, go out, you have to, like, wipe the slate clean and start over, and you start with nothing, just as if you're doing an open mic for the first time, only now you obviously have a lot of experience or whatever. But I mean, as far as, like, stuff taking off, I don't know. I don't think about that.
I think it's great that there's some young comedian out there knowing right now that it never gets better. Basically what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying is... It's always
still hard as shit, and it never really feels good.
I was talking to this other comic, Hannibal. He's a good friend of mine, and we were just talking about, like, there's such a small sweet spot of, like, you know, I'm doing this new tour now. I'm so excited. I feel like it's my best hour, and, like, I'm, like, kind of, like, maybe hypothetically midway, 3/4 of the way through touring it, and I'm just like, oh, fuck, it's dead. And, like, I gotta start over again.
Yeah.
Like, you only have, like, one brief little moment where it's like, I'm doing this in theaters. Everyone loves it. It's awesome. And then it's like, well, no one ever wants to hear it again. So what else do you have to say?
Right.
And it's very scary. It's a
so
scary thing to decide to do long term.
It's so different for everybody else in show business. Like, if you're a musician and you get Sweet Home Alabama, and you're like, wait, and now we had a Freebird, boom, my life's done.
Yeah,
you know?
I remember one time I went to this thing. I was with, it was some event where Sting was performing. And Sting came up there, and I was like, oh, shit, Sting. And Sting came up there and was like, you know, every breath you take. And I was like, oh! I was like, fuck you, Sting. Heard that song before, bro. It's not new to me. What about the new ladies in your life? What do you think about life now that you're a much older man? Now that you're settled down, do you have any new viewpoints on this woman? I've heard this take before. I know where this is going.
Here's the weird thing, though. With, like, say, Sting.
Just shouting out the lyrics. Yeah, I know. Every move she makes. I know. Let me guess. You'll be watching her. You'll be watching her? Yeah. That's what I thought.